Okay? Instead of thinking of B minor as this other thing that isn't even related to D major, it's just this other thing. Well, now I got 2 more scales I got to learn. So every stinking time I learn a minor, I got to learn another key, another configuration on my fretboard. I don't have to do that. And this is where it gets awesome, is because we've got this major and minor, this slang, 1 and 6 chord, 1 being the major, 6 being the minor, this is where people went, okay, that's cool, but what if I wanted to emphasize the 2 chord in the key of C major? We're going back to the key of C major now. What's the 2 chord in the key of C major? Well, the 2 chord in the key of C major would be D minor, right? Hopefully that makes sense to you, right? The 2 chord of C major would be D minor. The 2nd chord is D, and the quality is minor. So this is where, again, forget about your guitar for now. This is where the conflict began, because people are like, well, okay, so if we're talking about that D minor right there, we can't call it D minor, because if I say, hey, this song is in the key of D minor, you're going to think a 6 chord. So we can't call it D minor. We have to call it something else, and that's where the mode titles come from. Again, chicken or the egg, right? Which one came first? I'm not concerned about that. I'm not concerned about whether, thank you, Keith, whether historically, it came from the name of because it did. I mean, there's a whole Greek thing about this. I'm not looking for the history. I want you to understand what this means. So when somebody says Dorian, they're talking about a 2 chord. So when people say Dorian, they gotta say Dorian. They can't just say minor. Because if they said minor, you and I would think 6 chord, because that's slang. We can't say that. We gotta say Dorian. So what does Dorian really mean to us? Dorian really just means 2. That's all it means. Okay? So if somebody says to you, hey, this song is in D Dorian, again, you could go, oh my God, now I got to learn a whole other set of scales and a whole other set of things because I don't know Dorian. Yes, you do. D Dorian is really the key of C, using the chords of C and the scale shapes of C and everything else. Okay? You already know D Dorian. It's really C major. Now I'm going to show you. So I'm going to play a D Dorian track. And I think this is moving from D minor to G, but let me double check because I played this before you got here. Yeah. So this track is going from D minor to G major. Well, does D minor fit in the key of C major, the chord D minor? Yes, it does. It's the 2 chord, obviously. Does G major fit in the key of C? Yes, it's the 5 chord. Okay, so all we're doing is playing 2 chords out of this key of C. We're just not emphasizing the C major chord. We don't even have it in here. So now I'm going to meander using the C major scale again. So here we go. Okay, now again, I'm adding a little bit of this stuff down here, so I apologize, but I want you to get the point. I'm just playing the C major scale. I didn't have to move to D. I didn't have to do anything different. I'm still in the key of C. I'm still playing this C major scale. I'm still just playing that scale. But it's working. Why is it working? Because everything is in the key of C. These 2 chords that I'm playing, D minor and G major, are in the key of C. The scale I'm playing is the key of C, so needless to say, it's all going to work together. If you're with me so far, because this is huge, okay? This is why when I tell people Dorian is really just a 2, right? I don't care whether it's a Greek term that means large human with big pizza. I don't care what it means. It doesn't make any difference to me. Dorian just means 2, right? So it's a 2nd chord in the key of C, and it's just telling the world, and when I say I'm in D Dorian, it just means, hey, I'm in the key of C, but I'm emphasizing the 2nd chord. That's all. Okay? Now the awesome thing about this is all the modes are exactly the same. So if we're in the key of C, and we want to emphasize the 3 chord, which is C, D, E minor, because a 3 is always minor, right? So now we're going to emphasize the 3 chord, and then do something else with the chord progression. Again, I don't even know what it is. I'm going to listen to it. We're going to figure it out here, but the rhythm is telling me what key we're in, okay? Well, the name of the guitar track technically is, but... Okay, so here's E Phrygian. So let's hear what this is. So there's E minor, and then it goes to F, which makes sense because almost all the time when you're dealing with Phrygian, it's this half step from E minor to F. That's what makes the Phrygian sound, is this half step. That whole sort of, you know, Spanish thing, you know, or White Rabbit, for instance, is which I think I used in an example on there. But anyway, so that's what Phrygian is. Now, I'm going to have that jam track play, and I'm still going to just meander C major over the top, because I'm still in C major using an E minor chord, which fits in the key of C major. And I'm going to use an F chord, which fits in the key of C major. It's the 4 chord. So again, I'm just playing the notes of a C major, although I am dabbling a little bit in this refinement thing I was talking about. I don't remember what word I used earlier, but that 3rd level where I'm starting to make things sound more like they're supposed to, I'm doing that a little bit, and I apologize if I'm getting ahead of myself. But the point is, okay, now we're in E Phrygian. Phrygian just means 3. Yes, it can mean Greek god, you know, whatever. I don't care. The point is Phrygian means 3 to us, okay? Now, I can go through every one of these modes and do the exact same thing. You know, if I do the next one, it's going to be an F chord, right? It's going to be using chords of the key of C, but it's emphasizing an F chord. The next one's going to emphasize a G chord. And then we're back to the A minor, which is our 6th chord,